Hey everybody, and good morning on this my sleepiest morning Let's Play of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I'm Mike of Team Brothership. I'm recording this on a sleepy Sunday. A sleepy Sunday morning, and I have a very affectionate drooling cat on my lap right now, so might be a little bit of a distracted Let's Play. So as you remember, as you'll remember last time on Team Brothership's Let's Play, yeah. Anyway, last time we fought a bunch of bosses, we found the bat form, and now we're ready to take on the final boss. So, okay though, as a heads up, this is gonna get us the bad ending. I'm going to fight the final boss now, quote-unquote final boss, because I want to show you the bad ending, and then I'm going to reload and do the better ending. So let's just get right in there.
I've been waiting for you. Richter, why would a Belmont ever plan to resurrect Count Dracula? Dracula rises once a century. One chance for each Belmont to shine. And then we're finished. Forgotten. If I bring him back now, the battle can last for eternity.
So the entirety of this game is just about job security, which, hey, thankfully he's not dealing a lot of damage. Because I've got the, I'm not exactly dealing a lot of damage to him either, but...
Such power! My greatest attack!
That's not gonna be fun, though. Remember this? Remember when we did this to Dracula at the beginning of the game? Oh no. That's bad. You know what? Actually, it's okay if he keeps us pinned here in the corner. Yeah. Oh, hey, thanks. No, that was... Okay, that's a little bit helpful. So we actually have to heal. Thanks, lady. So you're seeing some of the benefits of... Whoa! Don't want to get hit by that. Yikes. No, we might actually die here. Well, I mean, this is the reason why you don't fight him like this. And you don't fight him this early. We've got a bit more... That should hopefully give us the info we need. Ugh. There we go, finally.
It's over, Belmont. So, the war between humans and vampires finally ends here. What need for the shepherd when the wolves have all gone, huh? My time. It's over now.
Well, that's the end of him. Now he can never show up in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I like the fact that the entirety of what I would consider at least one of the top 5 greatest games of all time is just about job security. You know, he just needs to secure his livelihood for his family. Anyway. He's not really the final boss. There's quite a bit more to this game. But when you first play through, if you don't really pay attention to certain things, or if you kind of ignore the fact that there seem to be a lot of parts of the castle that you've never been to, you can think like, oh, he's in the Dracula room. It's the last boss. A somewhat plausible reason for him to do all of this nonsense. The castle blew up.
Mankind knows little but war and desperation.
True
what
enough.
other way of life did Belmont know? He and Father chose the same path. Farewell, homeland. I shall never see your beauty again.
And there he goes. Tragic. Actually, there's a couple of different bad endings. I'm trying to think if you kill him at certain other points, I think Maria shows up in the ending. But the real tragedy of that is that we're not getting I Am the Wind as the ending theme song. We're getting this adequate but disappointing. Because it's not even I Am the Wind is not even J-pop. It's like 90s smooth jazz. Anyway, alright, I'm going to skip through all the credits. We're going to go back to the regular game. Okay, we're back. We watched those melancholy credits, and now it's time to actually complete the game for real, which is just going to take a few more minutes. But first, I want to loot the keep here. Hey, it's that... I know, the cross is the more powerful, but I like the axe. It's more useful. Oh, hey, where'd the fairy go? Interesting, they turned my, No, they didn't turn the fairy off. Where the hell is she? I guess she glitched out. Well, anyway, we're gonna loot the keep first, because there's a bunch of good stuff here. I don't know where the fairy went. So, yeah, there's, that might actually be better than my diamond mail. Nope. Sticking with diamond. So there's a couple of things that we have to do next in order to get the real ending for the game. Not least of which is explore the lower portions of the castle. But first we're going to loot the keep. And then we're going to head back down to Orlox's room or quarters, or whatever they're calling it now. There we go. This part's a little bit annoying because you start getting attacked by the seagulls, and it is hard to fight them as the bat. So it can sometimes be a little irritating to get this item. Power of the Mist. Here's our extra. That's one that I only recently discovered that's there, so... Yeah, it's very hard to hit these guys as the bat, and getting hit will interrupt your flight. Power of Mist is useful. It lets us maintain the mist form for longer. And I think it reduces the overall MP cost too, so it's not as much of a problem. Compulsive save, and then we're gonna teleport over to Orlox's area because he has a relic that we need. I actually was realizing when I was planning out today's episode, because I'm gonna try to wrap up kind of a lot of content today, so we're gonna move quickly. But I was realizing, oops, that was the wrong way. He says as he talks about need to move quickly. I was actually thinking, I don't really remember explicitly where certain things are. I just know that if we do a certain sequence of events, we will accumulate them all eventually. But we are basically looking... Hey, right to Orlox's room. We are basically looking for two important rings that we need, which will open up a secret passage in a specific area and will allow us to get an item that will change the Richter fight. But in order to do that, we need to accumulate a whole pile of other things. It becomes a bit like a point-and-click adventure game in a way, in that you need certain relics to find certain pieces of equipment, which you need to find certain rings. Actually, I should say one of the rings is very easy to get. There's just a boss that we can get to now, a fairly easy boss, in fact, that we can get to now. who will drop that ring when defeated. So that part's simple. Let's see. Let's go down first. Orlox is just to the left here, but I'm going to go... I think this is a save point. Yes. I'm going to go accumulate a few items first, because Orlox is... I mean, I've played this game a million times. Most of these bosses aren't that difficult, unless you're fighting Richter at low level. Yeah, where the hell is the fairy? You know what? I'm going to turn on the ghosts then, since she's not showing up. There he is. It's the ghost. We'll play with the ghost for a little while. Yeah, it becomes a bit of a point-and-click adventure game in that you need to find a relic, to find a piece of equipment, to get one of the rings. Oh, the sword card. That's another familiar. Let's play with the ghost for a little while. The sword card, I tend to stick with... there's a little demon guy that you can get later, who, if leveled up appropriately... And I should mention, too, that these familiars will level up along... Oops. Will level... Yeah, see, he's draining health from this enemy. These familiars... Oh, this is kind of cool. Watch this. It's turning to blood. Anyway. These familiars will level up alongside me. And they gain new abilities as they do so. They'll hit a little bit harder. They'll occasionally learn new moves. But I tend to just use the little demon guy because when he's fairly high leveled up, he will do quite a bit of damage. The fairy's fine, but I mean, hopefully by the end of the game we're not going to be really needing to use a lot of items, so you can watch these little prisoners. They come up to if you stand nearby, they'll come up to the bars and they'll rattle them, and then when you walk away, they know you're ignoring them and they retreat back. I have no idea who those are supposed to be. I guess just random prisoners of Dracula. It's holy water that I don't want. I think there's a secret passage right here. Which... Oh, actually, the variety... That's cool. I'm almost going to try to do a move that I don't have yet. Hey, another card. Fairy card. Interesting. That must be the other fairy. Fairy IE. Fairy Y. Let's see her.
I've waited for this since I was an egg. I'm yours, Alucard.
That's creepy. I think this is the one that sings the little song. So they did bring this stuff back in. I guess this is basically just a port of the PSP version. Let's see if she does her little song here. Says the man who moments earlier was commenting on how we need to really move this in a hurry. If this takes forever and gets stupid, I'll just cut this part out. Yeah, she doesn't seem like she's settling. Alright, well, I'm going to leave her out for a little while since I have spent less time with her than I have with some of the other familiars. Oh, here's where we can open the little passage back to the chapel. Like that. And now that's a shortcut. Yeah, so I tend to just use the demon. He's the most, or the devil, or whatever he is. He's the most straightforward. He'll deal a fair amount of damage when he's leveled up enough. The fairy can be useful if you're on early playthroughs, I guess, since you're more likely to take damage and need assistance and not want to have to go into the menus. Although, I don't know if you noticed during the Richter fight, but the fairy was just using potions. There are much better healing items than potions, but she will only use the specifically designated healing items, not the food, which are often the better healing items. So after playing through this game a bunch of times, the fairy is of limited usefulness, I would say. The other one that's kind of useful, though, is the sword. Not because it's particularly powerful or what have you. But because if you level it up enough, here we go. Here's the Orlox fight. You know what? You can actually just sit here in this chair. Let's see. So there's Orlox there. He motions. You sit in the chair. Oops. Oops. Get back here, you. This guy's got two forms. This is his first form, and it's not that we don't want to get hit with. And his first form isn't super tough, but the second form gets a little tricky. You should be able to get him to go into his second form pretty quickly. There we go. Alright, this is a little bit trickier. And not because of this part, per se. But yeah, those fireballs, and, you know, he's not dealing much damage to us with his physical attacks, but those fireballs pack quite a punch. Oh, I guess not. Maybe this isn't going to be that bad. You can actually hack his arms off, too, which... Oops. You kind of block the fireballs this way, as long as you don't get hit in the head. Back here, you. So we're ideally trying to... Whoa! At least this means he's almost dead. Because he doesn't do that unless he's on his last leg. That we don't want to get hit by. There we go. Okay. No, you didn't get to see me blow his arms off necessarily, but that's what it is. He's coming for us. Look out! Nope. Tough nuggies. Get our free heal. And we're off. Off to our next adventure. So he should have dropped. Well, dropped. It's in the next room. He should give us one of the relics that we need. I think it's the Echo. Looks like it. Echo. Perfect. Okay, so that is what we need to move on to the next stage, which is the lower portion of the castle. And let's see, what's the easiest way? You know what? Gonna just walk back, because it's not really gonna be any faster. I mean, we gotta walk to the hell either way. Alright. Well, I'm gonna cut out this next part because it's gonna be boring. So I will see you in a few minutes. Okay, actually we're back for 1 second. So I'm heading to the lower areas, but I want to do one thing, actually two things first. So we've got our bat form. We can now go up through this middle area and get all this totally awesome swag up here, which should... Nope. I'm misremembering. Anyway, doesn't matter. Grab a couple of items. Oh, and before I cut back out again, I think there's a... Oh, nice. Okay, this is a fun relic, the gravity boots, which can do this. Whee! Slam right into the ceiling like that. There's a few areas where the gravity jump is pretty useful. It's not the most important relic, but it's got a few purposes. But there's one other thing that I want to do too, but I gotta go this way first for a second. That's not what I needed. Nope, that's not it either. Where the hell is the... Well, I guess I'm not gonna do this then, because I thought there was stopwatch over there. Maybe it's down here instead. Okay, here it is. The watch. Okay, we're gonna head back a little bit. There's a lot of axes. So what I was saying before about the sword. Oh, for Christ's sake. The sword familiar. If you level him up enough, he will actually turn into a sword that you can swing around in fights, and it's one of the stronger swords in the game. So if you feel so inclined, that is a not worthless way to spend your time with your familiars. Alright, here we go. Weep. So that, using the watch there, stopping time, will open up this passageway, which looks like you're getting back all of your early game equipment, but if you'll notice, it doesn't say Alucard sword. It says Alucard sword. Alucard gear. Resembles family sword. Yeah, this stuff is all garbage. That is useless and not worth equipping. Again, just weird little things that they do in this game. Alright. Well, we're almost to where we need to be anyways. Now I have to be on the lookout for another axe, because I don't remember where there's another axe that I gotta pick up. We won't really need it for any of the fights immediately coming forward. I think we'll have plenty of time to reobtain our axe before we have to do any fighting of substance. So we're on our way to the lower chunk of the castle and a boss fight. Oops. Almost grabbed the book by accident. The book's not terrible. It's like a little barrier that spirals out from you. There are worse options. So, well, first we're going to grab this. Didn't get it before. And quick save. And we'll deal with that boss, who should be right down here if I'm remembering correctly. Which, if you've watched any other of my Let's Plays, you may know that I don't always. Should be a room, yes. That big old bag of money first, then just zip over here. And there should be a boss. Momentarily. Claymore is a decent two-handed sword, but I don't like how slow the two-handed weapons are, so I will not be using that. And I think these are all expendable items. Meal tickets. Meal tickets are weird little items in that you use them and they give you a food item. So they're kind of a two-step... Oh, the Moonstone. That's kind of the first... Improve status after sunset. I don't know what clock this is reading off of, though. So we'll equip that. It's the first of our kind of assistive. Oh, this looks fine, right? It's just a regular save point. We can just pop right in here and save our game. No problem whatsoever. The nightmare.
Mother!
Alucard, is that you?
I'm coming, Mother! I'll save you!
No, Alucard, stay away!
Mother!
It's all right. If my death can save others, I gladly surrender my life.
No! I won't let this happen!
It's too late. Just stay with me. Hear my last words to you.
Yes, Mother.
Humans. You cannot live with them. You can only hate them, do them harm.
What?
Theirs is such a hard lot. Release them from their pain. Begin with the ones who killed me.
No, it wasn't like this.
Alucard, what's wrong?
My mother never said such a thing.
What do you mean? I am your mother. Do as I say. Release them. Kill them.
No, you are not my mother. What kind of demon are you?
Strong enough to break my spell, hmm? I like that.
You deserve worse than death for this, demon.
Then give it to me, little boy. Don't be shy.
This is the succubus enemy who starts showing up in other Castlevanias after this. I mean, I guess it's not like this is exactly her. Oops. No, every time she bleeds you, she heals a little bit too. Oops. No. I don't have my axe. There we go. It's not a very difficult boss.
Darkling, I smell your blood.
Okay,
Your hunger. That strength. That beauty. You really are the son of Lord Dracula.
Death in the dream world will set your soul wandering for eternity, demon.
Wait! I beg of you!
So, a lot to unpack there. That's the first of those rings I was talking about. So, we just need one more. We're 50% of the way there to getting the good ending, kinda. So, a lot to unpack there. That was the... If you've seen the Netflix series, that was not that dissimilar to the death of Lisa from the Netflix series. I mean, it drew it from this game. So the Netflix series goes off into a little bit more detail with the death of Lisa being kind of what set Dracula off on his latest rampage, and ties it into Castlevania 3 a little bit. So that was also the Succubus, who is a recurring Castlevania boss. This is more or less the first game that she shows up in, unless you consider, what's her name? Camilla, who comes up in some of the earlier games as a Castlevania, a Dracula sycophant. We're gonna go this way this time because I didn't open this part of the castle up yet. Who sort of does some similar things. Anyway, so a somewhat, well, we'll say minor Castlevania character in the Succubus. The other thing that I had never noticed before, which, well, because I haven't played the PS4 port before, but that I thought was pretty funny. I don't know if you saw that achievement I just grabbed, but it was called You're Tearing Me Apart, which has to be a reference to The Room, and the when, oh hey, there's my axe. Sweet. When Tommy Wiseau's character shouts at his girlfriend Lisa, "You're tearing me apart." I realize references to The Room are kind of old hat now. I wasn't really expecting it in Castlevania Symphony of the Night. So yeah. So the Succubus, we've defeated her. We've got the first of the 2 rings that we need, and now we just have to go back down into the lower sections of the castle. You can kind of see, there's a few things we're going to do, which I'm not sure. I had originally hoped that I could finish up every last thing today, but unfortunately I don't think that's... without making a giant beast of a video, which I think I have a tendency to do. I think we'll probably have to make this 2 parts. Hey, so remember this?
Thy destiny awaits, O Prince.
Great. Love to hear it. Remember this from way back, videos ago? So we picked up that relic in like the first video, the end of the first video, that makes the boatman show up here. We'll get that on the way back. Makes the boatmen show up here so you can get over here. Actually, I mean, you can try to run through the water and just, like, tough out the damage. But there's, like, a gate here that only opens when the boatman shows up. So that will be a problem. There it goes. Yeah, so you can get all the way out to here, and then you got to turn around. So I'm just gonna skip past that. I totally forgot that I hadn't grabbed this already, because I usually get this at the beginning of my playthroughs. It's the holy symbol. It's a snorkel. So now we're immune to water damage, which at this point is not even that important. But if you want to finish off the whole castle, I'm actually going to trigger the boatman and then jump down here, because there's a few items in the water that we can get now. You still move slow in the water, but you don't take any damage. If you want to get the good ending, you do need to kind of screw around a little bit in here and fill in all the gaps. Like I said, I'm not going to make you sit and watch me fill in every little room and gap that I've missed in the whole castle so that we can get the good ending. I'll do that off camera, because I think it would be boring otherwise. But I am going to do it so we can at least see the good ending. Grab that ring. Yeah, and there's a lot of it, especially in the, let's say, next portion of the game, where you have to do a lot of, like, mucking around in water, and it's very slow and dull, and I even find it boring when I'm playing the game by myself. But gotta get that good ending. Gotta give Alucard the happy ending that he deserves. Alright, so we got this now. Largely irrelevant, but we're playing a video game, so talking about what is or is not a waste of time. This is a kind of splitting hairs, let's be perfectly honest. Okay, so we gotta open. Well, you know what, I am gonna... It's gonna eat up some more time, but I'm gonna jump into the water sections here just because there's some interesting stuff. I might skim through some later parts. These fish enemies hit quite hard. They are worth a lot of experience, though, at this point in the game. They're a good place to... I mean, you don't need to grind in Symphony of the Night, but if you feel so inclined, this is not a bad place to do it. These are worth... Oh, nice, he dropped an item, too. We got some nunchucks. They're not really nunchucks, these are like tonfas. They might actually be leveled up enough that these guys aren't really giving as much as they would under other circumstances. So yeah, but anyway, now that we've got this water invulnerability, we can dig around here and fish out a bunch of decent items. Whoa. Sorry, I'm just going to check the map a little bit, because if I do it now, I don't have to come back and do it. Oh, stupid frog. Whoop. Handful of decent items, some health boosts, and last little area over here. I'm not going to go all the way back to the... okay, this is where we need to go. This is the entrance to the final part of the castle that we haven't explored yet, but it's a little bit complicated to open that up. I shouldn't say complicated, I should say circuitous, maybe is a better word. Grab that. Non-intuitive. We'll say non-intuitive. Okay, so we hit this. This guy falls down. Something appeared by the wooden bridge. I wonder what that could mean. I think this shield has the same defense as the one I'm using, but kind of like the look of it a little bit better. Looks a little more like a knight shield. Not that the shaman shield is bad, it's kind of cool. Secret boots, the best relic in the game. Discreetly increases height. I believe it was Jeremy Parrish who told... Man, they're really hitting it out of the park with the achievement names. Reference to... I don't even remember who wrote that song, but I wish I was a little bit taller. I believe it was Jeremy Parrish who told me that the secret boots actually do increase Alucard's height by 1 whole pixel. So, again, just these weird little things that they do in this game. Just line up the waterfall. Don't try to fly through the waterfall. The bat is, if the bat gets wet, he will transform back into Alucard. Okay, so we triggered that thing. Coming back into this room. Alright, there's the guy, but he's dead, and he threw the barrel in the wrong direction. I don't know why the frogs drop brass knuckles, but whatever. So he's dead. He can't break the bridge, so we gotta actually come in from the other side. So unless you're gonna just do a gigantic loop around, you have to go through this room twice. This should be showing up. In a moment. There he is. Alright, we have to kind of lure him over here. If he throws the barrel too early, it breaks, and then you can't open up this part of the bridge. Man, this took me the longest friggin' time to figure out the first time I played through this game. I could not figure out how to get this thing open. Yes, my thanks for opening the last portion of the castle. I will club him to death. Alright, here we go. We got 2 bosses to get through. I love the vibe of this place. That looks ominous. But I love this just like creepy music. Like shrieking and moaning that you hear in the background. I think in the original version this was just called like the Lost Mine or something. Just kind of a cooler name, I don't know. Into the wolf mouth we go. A 3-headed motif in the background for some reason. Hey, and it's Cerberus. This is a pretty easy fight, but I love running into this guy after going through that whole Lost Mine section. And just the fire in the background and how suddenly it goes from like super quiet and, you know, mellow to this fire everywhere, and there's this 3-headed dog spitting fireballs at you and the music is pounding. It's a little bit of an anticlimax, unfortunately. Alright, is she gonna point it out? No, this is the dumb fairy, apparently. Let's switch to Fairy IE and see if she'll point out anything.
Another wonderful day.
Great, thanks. Nope, useless. Alright, well, you're going back into wherever you were from, and I'm taking out the sword card.
Are you worthy to wield me?
Probably not. Oh. She took a bit more of a beating than I was expecting. Woohoo! I like the name of these enemies, the Salem Witches. Alright. So we couldn't... Oh, you might be wondering why I ignored that passageway. It's because I can't open it right now. These enemies are pretty irritating in that they don't actually attack you. They just kind of fly around and create obstacles. Demon card. Okay, now we can open that that passageway. Devil familiar. Oh, I guess he's not feeling chatty. Usually he says something when he shows up. We have an ice or a holy weapon. I believe that deals extra damage to these little guys. Alright, this is the last teleporter for this part of the game, so we don't need it right now, but we want to draw attention to it so we can teleport back if need be. Yeah, this little guy, for the time being, he will just kind of lazily swat at enemies, but eventually he'll be able to cast some spells, he'll do like multi-attacks. He's pretty useful. And since he's invulnerable, he can just get in there and really mix it up.
There's a switch. Perhaps I should press it.
Thank you. There are literally 2 secret passages in the entire game that he opens up that way, and they're, well, I say 2, it's really like the same one. Somebody needs to do some gardening in here. Oh, this thing. This is one of the nastier enemies of the game at this point. You want to kill this thing very quickly. Shield does nothing. And you'll notice she turns redder as she deals more damage to me. Yeah, not a real threat, but they can be dangerous if you're not prepped. Ring of Aries. And another secret passage. A bunch of peanuts and some Dracula power. So the Ring of Aries really boosts your strength a lot, but it like drastically lowers your defense. I'm normally a fan of the glass cannon approach, but not right now. Not when I'm about to fight this thing, which is very hard to avoid taking damage from. You kind of see where the little plant heads go and try to avoid them. Yeah, when you're a little further away, it can be a little bit easier to avoid taking damage from that, but when you're up close and personal, one of them is going to get over your shield, unfortunately. Oh, yeah, the thorn weeds, if you leave them alone, will start to grow out of control and will start to attack in kind of a weird way. If I'm remembering correctly, the Salem witches drop something pretty decent, but since I'm usually killing them on the other side of walls, that's tricky to pull off. And we'll have some stronger weapons by the time we're coming back out of here. Oh, another mushroom, look at that. Whoa. I like that just one little chunk of the wall breaks there. Alright, this might be a better weapon, the combat knife. Nope. Okie dokie. Keep going. There will be some better weapons down here, though. Catacombs. We'll grab that on the way back. Blood healing and a cat eye circlet. The cat eye circlet is, I believe, heals you with cat damage. Yeah. If you get hit by cats, it will restore you which is useful in like 2 rooms in the entire game. Alright, we are now at the lowest portion of the castle. We got one thing to do down here. Watch this. If you kill the head before you kill the attendants, the attendants will run away. Oh, you nuisances. Yeah, these guys are super irritating in here because they just fill this room up with crap. I think I want to go this way first. No, actually, I've got the echo, so I can do either way. It doesn't matter. Sorry. No. Ah. Wrong sub-weapons. Actually, yeah, doing this way first. These slimes only show up in this room. And they're actually... It's good that I've got the shield rod, because they're actually... I don't want to get blasted with that. Yep. That was unintentional, but kind of hilarious. Oh, where'd he go? Yeah, these slimes are immune to piercing or slashing weapons, so it's good that I have the shield rod here, because otherwise I just couldn't even deal any damage to them. I'd have to go into the menu and equip the shield rod. The greatest indignity. Okay, this room is a little tricky. So, you need to transform into the bat and use the echo to navigate, because if you hit these spikes, that was a little close, you are going to take a lot of damage and probably die. Even still, using the echo to navigate, it's still a little tricky to get through here. Ta-da! Now we can see the nightmare of spikes. So that's what we needed the echo for. That's really the entire use of it in the game, to get through that room. Because otherwise it's pitch black, you can't see, you're going to end up flying into the spikes. Or just walking out into them. You'll probably die, unless you're right at the beginning of the room. Still knock this guy, mow this guy down. For some reason, if you kill them after the head dies, they seem to have a much higher probability of dropping the pork bun item. I don't know what that's a reference to, but I would imagine it's got to be something. Okay, so this should bring us to the one item that we really need. I mean, we could theoretically just leave after this. The Spike Breaker armor, which is not going to be stronger than the armor that I have now, but I will momentarily... Yeah, you can just use that library card and teleport the hell out of here. I never mentioned, so the library cards teleport you to the library. That's not how a real library card works, unfortunately, but maybe someday. Maybe someday. Yeah, I mean, so anyway, this Spikebreaker armor is really the only thing that we needed down here, we believe. But there's still more castle down here. There's some items that I'm going to get, which are not vital, but I'm here, I might as well. I didn't drop one that time. Here I'm going to just get them anyways, because, I mean, why not? And there's also a real weird boss down here. So let's see. This is the... Okay, so I'm going to equip that Spikebreaker armor. Now, I am impervious to spikes. It does what it says on the box. With this armor equipped, I can just smash right through the spikes. You may remember, very briefly earlier in the game, I pointed out a particular hallway that was covered in spikes, and we couldn't seem to get through. Oh yeah, you see the blob is immune to the little demon's pokes with his spear. But yeah, so you may remember back in the chapel, there was a corridor that was just lined with spikes that we couldn't get through. Well, now we can. I don't know the clock, or the pocket watch, or whatever it's called. I tried to convince Paul to let me do one of our other Team Brothership episodes, Monster Vials, on Master of Darkness, which is the not Castlevania Sega Master System game. Oops. Look at that. This guy drops some decent stuff occasionally. Sturdier than I remembered. I tried to convince Paul to let me do a Master of Darkness episode for our 5 spooky weeks of Halloween, but he wouldn't go for it. I should say I'm recording this the Sunday morning after the little inside baseball. Paul and I, and occasionally John, tend to record on Friday nights. If you stand close enough to this guy, he'll just keep slashing over your head, where if you get too close, he'll body slam you. And if you stand too far away, he throws that thing at you, which is a little bit harder to avoid. So this is the Sunday after the Friday when we recorded our Splatterhouse episode, which I still haven't posted, sorry. Paul and I had a bunch of family stuff we had to do yesterday on Saturday. I'm going to try to get it up later today. I've got to do some editing. Okay, I think this is going to be better than the shield rod. No. Oh, interesting. I wonder why. Ballroom mask. Well, there's another sword coming up that interesting. I wonder why... I must have something else on me right now that's giving the shield rod an extra oomph. Maybe because of the shield that I have equipped? Yeah, there's a lot of weapons and items in this game that have, like, weird properties you'd never even notice unless you played it, like, a million times. But I wonder if the shield rod gets more offensively powerful. It's too bad these guys are weak to ice, so that sword would make short work of them. I'm not sure who those are references to either. Those are outside of my mythological purview. They look kind of like a Quasimodo type character. Yay, $1. Most useless room in the game. Now these guys are weak to ice too, so that sword would also shred them pretty handily. Alright, gonna just pop out the other side here. Walk armor. This is actually the best armor, as far as pure defense is the best armor in the game, but not right at this moment. It gains power the more rooms you explore and the more of the castle that you've been into. So by the end of the game, it is quite beefy. There's other armor that has certain other properties that are useful. The starting game armor, the Alucard armor, has a lot of elemental defenses. There's something called, like, God's robes, I think, that are almighty robes. Oh, okay, I'm going to stop talking about robes. So, here is Granfaloon, which was some kind of a mistranslation. This is the first appearance of what will eventually become a recurring Castlevania boss called Legion, named after the one, well, I guess if you consider the adversary a demon, Legion is really the only named demon in the Bible, which is obviously gained him a lot of pop culture traction. So we're trying to chop off these outside bits, because that's where he's dropping all these people from, which is pretty irritating. But you'll notice I'm also, as I hack open this guy, I'm revealing these tentacles, which... Uh-oh. Yeah, I don't want to get hit with that. Okay. I'm going to try to bust open a few more of these pieces, just because I'm getting sick of having him drop naked people on me. But yeah, Legion is the kind of the big demon from the Bible, because he's got a name as opposed to everything else. Anyway, the only part we actually have to worry about busting up is this inner circle thing here. Oh, get down here. So, I'm getting fewer... Woo, that was close. Getting fewer people dropped on us, but we're still... floating just out of reach, which is irritating. There we go, okay. And not a super hard boss, but again, the first time you see that... Oh man. Whoever named these achievements, I hope he got a raise, because he was having quite the day. I remember when I was playing this as a kid and that thing first popped out, I was just like, what the hell is this thing? It was a little bit of a surprise, shall we say. Alright, so what do we earn for that? I think it's just a sword. Right, I believe this is the strongest weapon in the castle. Man, why is it... Well, whatever. We're sticking with our shield rod then. Fine, be that way. We've also explored this whole lower chunk. Right now, we need to get back to the chapel, which is going to take a lot of walking time. So for once in the game, I'm actually going to use one of those library cards. Oh, no, that was a meal ticket, genius. We only got 3. Gotta be careful. Off we go. Get my shield rod back. We'll hit up the librarian real quickly, see if he's got anything decent.
How about this?
Thank you.
How about this?
Probably not. And we've pretty much bought all the decent stuff from him at this point. Other than stuff that's going to take a real ton of money. And I'm not going to bother buying these scrolls, because who cares? Alright. Well, we didn't... Well, we got 2 last things we need to do. We need to get that last ring, which will be easy enough to do. And then we have to get the item that we need to change the Richter fight. So that won't take a ton of time, but I feel like this episode has gone on long enough. That's loud. So I think next time we will start out. I'm gonna go through and fill in a few spots of the castle. I might take a few quick little videos to show a few neat... There's a few little neat areas that I want to show off, but I'm not going to bother making you sit through crawling through the entirety of the castle again, just so I can pick out a few little areas. But I do want to show you one thing before we wrap up. And that is right over here. the library. Now that we've got the gravity jump items, there's something kind of entertaining that we can do. Here we go. So you may have noticed when we were in with the librarian, there was like a hole under him. Well, it reconnects to this room here. Oops, did it wrong. And you can actually like jump up under him and bang into him and knock him in the air where he'll yelp in terror. He dropped an item when we did that, and if you keep doing this, he will actually drop some really good items. You have to do it a long time to get the better stuff, but yeah, I don't know. It was a Ring of Arcana is extremely useful. I'm going to equip that when I finally land, but yeah, we can just raise hell for our poor little librarian friend here. Anyway, well, I think that's enough of me babbling on. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. We will talk again soon.